They told you to coach them, to keep it professional, to sit down with the person and talk. And you did. You had the meeting. You were clear. You followed the protocol. You even documented it all like a good leader should. So why? Why does everything still feel worse? Why does it feel like you're the one under review? Why is the team still walking on eggshells? And why are you the one losing sleep over someone who keeps showing up like their behavior doesn't matter? It's not leadership, it's survival. And it's costing you more than you realize. Now, I'm Brenda Neckvatal, and I help the strongest leaders deal with the messiest people. So if you've ever sat across from someone who gave you a smug half smile while you laid out expectations, if you've ever walked away from a performance meeting feeling like you were the one that was being managed, you're not alone. And you're not crazy. You're just being lied to by a system that thinks that clarity is enough without consequence. So before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment below, and share it with somebody you know is going through something difficult right now. Someone trying to hold the line while everything around them is slipping. So let's get into it. So here's what it really looks like. You give direction, and they do just enough to technically follow it, but you still miss the mark. You hold the meeting, but the energy shifts the room. People feel it. No one names it. You start over by explaining your decision because they push back in subtle ways, not openly, but just enough to get into your head. And you realize that you're replaying the conversation in your own mind like you're on trial. So the team loses faith, not just in them, but in you. You're exhausted and you're questioning your own judgment. You're not even sure if you're leading or surviving. Now, that's not performance management, that's performance manipulation. And the source, well, it's how you were taught to handle discipline. Now, the moment that you treat defiance like misunderstanding, you've already given them the advantage. You're trying to manage their emotions, you're trying to get and build buy in, you're trying to make it collaborative. But here's the thing. You don't collaborate with somebody who's already chosen control over contribution. That's not development, that's dysfunction. And dysfunction doesn't get fixed with open-ended questions and polite feedback loops. So can we agree on this? When discipline has no consequence, it becomes a suggestion. Let me say that again. When discipline has no consequence, it's not leadership, it's a suggestion, and you know it. Because employees don't remember the conversation, they remember what happened after. High performers are watching how you handle the low ones. And at first, they're empathetic, but eventually they decide whether or not they should stay. Every time you delay enforcement, you teach people that the rules are flexible, depending on who begs them. You're not too harsh. You're just finally enforcing what you said. You're not risking the relationship. You're protecting the standard. You're not ending a chance. You're actually ending a pattern that should have been stopped months ago. Now, I want you to think about this. How much energy have you spent trying to coach someone who already made up their mind? How many times have you drafted the plan, had the talk, followed the steps, and they still come back unchanged? They're not confused, they're not scared, they're not misunderstood, they're choosing it. And you're left performing leadership while they're performing compliance. It isn't a knowledge gap. It's a character issue. And you cannot fix a character issue with a coaching script. You've been trained to think termination is failure, that if somebody gets fired, it could mean that you're the one that messed up. Wrong. Termination isn't failure, it's the final chapter of a pattern that they refuse to change. And it's your responsibility to close it before it takes the rest of your team down with it. You're not a bad leader for being done. You're not toxic for holding the line. You're not wrong for protecting the people who show up and do it right. And the longer you protect the person causing the most damage, the more trust you destroy with the ones you deserve who deserve your loyalty. You don't build a high performing team by over accommodating the one person who refuses to grow. You build a high performing team by being the kind of leader who protects the standard every time without apology. So here's what I want you to do next. If you've been dealing with somebody who's draining your time, your energy, and your authority, stop managing around them. Start managing the impact. Like this video. And if this hits you where you've been struggling, subscribe for the real strategies, not the sugar-coated leadership theory that's out there. I make these videos because I've been in an exact seat that you're in. I'm telling you, the pressure is real. And the silence after confrontation is really loud. And if you don't have a guide, you'll start thinking that you're the problem for expecting excellence, and you're not. You're the one who's trying to save a culture from collapsing. And it's not easy, but you just need some of the right tools to do it. This is your moment. Draw the line and hold it. Lead like you mean it. You either shape the culture you want or you suffer in the one that you tolerate.